Good morning. We have covered lots of important topics in our previous grammar classes. I suggest you to revisit those classes at will and refresh your knowledge on those topics. I'll link up those classes in the description. In this class, we'll be learning about prefixes, suffixes, phrases, and clauses. We have covered prefixes and suffixes in detail in the sixth chapter and worked out some exercises from workbook as well. Please do watch those classes. Before getting into the topic, I want you to understand what is meant by syllable. Whenever you search for word meaning in a dictionary, beside that word, you will find group of letters with symbols. This is called International Phonetic Alphabets, or in short, IPA. Or you will find one or more letters separated by an hyphen. This is called phonetic respelling. Both IPA and phonetic respelling tells us how to spell a word. Let's take phonetic respelling. In phonetic respelling, these blocks of alphabets which are separated by hyphen is a unit of pronunciation and it is called syllable. And each syllable contains a single vowel sound and one or more consonant sound. Pay attention, it is a single vowel sound and this is pronounced as a single unit. For example, the word pack. Here, the phonetic respelling is PAK and this is a single syllable word. Hiker. Here, the phonetic respelling is HIK-ER. So this is a two-syllable word. Now let's take another example. The word syllable itself. This word has three syllables. Syllable. The first syllable has a vowel sound I in it, and the next two syllables has a vowel sound U in them. So all spoken words has syllables. So I hope this explanation clears some of your doubts about syllables. Now, moving into the vocabulary section. What are prefixes? So prefixes are one or two syllable additions at the beginning of a word that changes its meaning but do not change its parts of speech. So noun remains a noun, adjective remains a adjective. Prefixes is added at the beginning of the word. For example, unable, indefinite, disorganized. Here, the prefixes un and in means not, and dis means lack of. These three prefixes are single syllable additions. What about the word microorganism? Here, the prefix is micro. So, how many syllables does it have? My-cro. M-I-C-R-O. So, this is a two syllable additions. So, what are suffixes then? A suffix is an ending added to a word, which usually changes the parts of the speech and may also change the meaning of the word. For example, acceptable, blackness. Here the suffixes able means capable and ness means denoting action, quality or state. We have two practice exercise, section A and section B. Section A, read the prefixes and suffixes in box A and the words in box B. Use them to form adjectives. So box A has both prefix and suffixes in it. And box B is the word, root word or base word. Okay. Now you need to use both the prefixes and suffixes to form a adjective. Now let's look at the root word recognize. This is changed to unrecognizable. Please, displeased. Describe, indescribable. Mistake, unmistakable. Dispense, indispensable. Discern, indiscernible. Avoid, unavoidable. Accept, unacceptable. Now, section B. Complete the sentences below with the correct adjectives that you have formed in section A. Question number 1. The council thought that the man Fix was looking for would be blank because he didn't have a very good description. So it means you cannot recognize the person. So the blank can be replaced with the word unrecognizable. Question number 2. Fix looked out to sea. Something was moving on the Red Sea, but he couldn't make it out. It was unrecognizable, or you cannot discern it. So the word is indiscernible. Question number 3. Fogg had to go to the council. It was blank. There was no way around it. So he cannot avoid it. So the word is unavoidable. Question number 4. Fix's surprise at finding the man he was looking for was blank. He couldn't find words for it. So he cannot describe him. So it is indescribable. Question number 5. Fix didn't like the idea of Fogg getting away with the crime. To him, the thought was completely blank. So he cannot accept it. So you can replace it the word unacceptable. Question number 6. If Fogg escaped, Fix wouldn't be very happy. In fact, he would be extremely. So you can use the word displeased. Question number 7. Fix was showing the blank signs of impatience. It was very obvious. So the correct word is unmistakable. Question number 8. Fix couldn't do his job without the council's help. He was blank. He was indispensable. Moving to the grammar section, phrases and clauses. So what is a phrase? A phrase is two or more words that work together as a unit and communicates a concept, but it isn't a full sentence. For example, beautiful memories. Dark horse. So here dark horse means a little known person or group who unexpectedly wins. So for example, the Sri Lankan cricket team was the dark horse in the 1996 Cricket World Cup. There are lots of different types of phrases, and in this class, we'll be learning about 4 types of phrases. They are noun phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, and prepositional phrase. Noun phrase. A noun phrase plays the role of a noun in a sentence. So the main word will always be a noun or a pronoun. For example, he pushed his way through a crowd of porters. Here, the word porters is the main word. So, how do you find whether this is a noun phrase? You can try to replace it with a pronoun. So, therefore, this sentence can be rewritten as he pushed his way through them. Adjective phrase. An adjective phrase is a group of words that tells us more about a noun. So, the main word will always be adjective. For example, the weather was clear and slightly chilly. Here the noun is weather. Now the adjective phrase is slightly chilly. Here the main word is chilly. Okay? Now, what about adverb phrase? An adverb phrase is a group of words that act in the same way as an adverb does. It tells us about the manner, place, time, frequency, and degree of an action. For example, Fix very carefully examined every face. Here the adverb phrase is very carefully. So it is the manner in which Fix examined the face. Prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase is a group of words that tells us where and when something took place. So it always begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or noun phrase. For example, the Mongolia has arrived in advance of the time required. Here, the prepositional phrase is in advance of the time required. It tells us when something took place. Now, moving on to the section A, identify the underlined phrases as noun phrases adjective phrases, adverb phrases, or prepositional phrases. Question number 1. The detective hoped to receive the splendid award. Here, award is the noun or the main word, and this is a noun phrase. Question number 2. The Mongolia has always been recognized for a timely arrival. So it tells us about when something took place. So this is a prepositional phrase. Question number 3. The artistic thing is to unmask honest countenances. Here, countenances means face or facial expression. So this is a noun phrase. Question number 4. The detective waited impatiently on the quay. So quay is the place where you tie the boats. So it tells us about the place. So this is an adverb phrase. Question number 5. The minarets of the monument loomed above the houses. So what do you mean by minarets? Minaret is a tower. It is typically part of a mosque. So it has a balcony from which muezzin calls Muslims to prayer. And looms means it appears as a shadowy form. Okay, so this tells us about the manner. So this is an adverb phrase. Question number 6. The detective's keen, rapid glance did not miss anything. So this is an adjective phrase because it tells more about the detective. Question number 7. A dozen boats pushed off from the shore. So it tells where something took place. So this is a prepositional phrase. Question number 8. A jetty pier, some 2000 yards along, extended into the roadstead. So here it tells more about the noun jetty pier. So this is an adjective phrase. Now, what about clauses? A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, and it can be a sentence on its own. If it is a sentence on its own, that means it has both subject and predicate. So there are lots of different clauses, and in this class, we'll be learning about independent and dependent clauses. So, what is an independent clause? So, independent clause, also known as the main clause, conveys a complete thought and it can stand by itself. So, it can be a sentence. So, let us look at this sentence. As he passed among the busy crowd, Fix scrutinized the passers by. Here, Fix scrutinized the passers by is the independent clause. Fix is the subject and scrutinized is the verb. What about dependent clause? A dependent clause depends on the independent clause to make complete sense. Let's look at the same sentence itself. As he passed among the busy crowd, Fix scrutinized the passers-by. Here, as he passed among the busy crowd is the dependent clause. He is the subject and passed is the verb. Let us do some exercise to understand phrases and clauses. Section B. Write whether these are phrases or clauses. Question number 1. They are singing in a loud voice. Here, they is the subject, are is the verb. So this is a clause. Question number 2. Because she smiled at her. Here, she is the subject and smiled is the verb. So this is a clause. Question number 3. She made tea for the guests. Here, she is the subject and made is the verb. So this is a clause. Question number 4. Reach on time. Here, there is no subject. So this is a phrase. Question number 5. In this picture. Here, there is no verb and this is a phrase. Section C. Read these sentences, circle the dependent clause and underline the independent clause. Question number 1. As it was sunny, she decided to go for a picnic. Here, as it was sunny is a dependent clause, and she decided to go for a picnic is the independent clause. Question number 2. While waiting for the train, Rahul bought a magazine to read. Here, while waiting for the train is the dependent clause, and Rahul bought a magazine to read is the independent clause. Question number 3. Rita is fond of baking, so Seema gifted her a book on cake recipes. Here, Rita is fond of baking is a independent clause, and so Seema gifted her a book on cake recipes is a dependent clause. Question number 4. You will succeed only if you persevere. Here, you will succeed is a independent clause, and only if you persevere is a dependent clause. Question number 5. The children did not go out to play because it was raining. Here, the children did not go out to play is an independent clause, and because it was raining is a dependent clause. Now, moving on to the next section, listening section. There is an audio clip in your ebook. You need to listen to it and mark the directions in your reader as you hear. Once done, you can submit it along with your assignments. The next section, speaking section. You need to talk about one of the countries. So you need to provide information about the country. So you are given few useful group of words. You can use them to create your speech. So once done, you can submit it along with your assignments. Now the next section, spelling. Words with IE or EI. To spell words with IE or EI, there is a simple rule that you should remember. I before E except after C, unless it sounds like A, as in neighbor or way. You can go through the words given in your reader and complete these words with EI or IE. Once done, you can submit it along with your assignments. Now moving on to the next section, writing section, it's about planning an itinerary. Phileas Fogg is on his amazing journey around the world. Imagine he's coming to visit you in your city for a week. Plan an itinerary for him. While planning the itinerary, you can consider things like where will he stay, what will he see, what will he eat, and how many places will he visit in a day. So you're given an example format in your reader. You can go through it and you can create an itinerary for Phileas Fogg. You can submit it along with your assignments. Now moving on to the last section, my word bank. You will find words associated with the sea, such as ship and steamer in the story. Find 2 more such words. What are the words? Key, sailor, and pier. We have come to the end of the class. Please write down the answers in your notebook and submit them along with your assignments. It was good to share the class with you all. Let us meet in the next class and explore more. Till then, adios.